Join my team. You can call the Brightside Ben phone team, and they can tell you all about it for a one-time $10 fee. You can start yourself a longevity business, earn yourself thank you checks, get your products at the wholesale price, and help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program, all for a one-time $10 fee. 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470. That's the number for the Brightside Ben phone team. Also want to encourage you to check out my blog, pharmacistben.com, which we update regularly with news stories as well as blog posts. Got a couple coming up here, hopefully the next day or two, on oxygen and weight gain, on breathing and respiration and weight gain. And let's see what else I could tell you. I'm going to be doing a talk for my friend Pete Greenway in Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, this Friday, May the 9th. Myself and Dr. Wallach. I'm going to get to interview Dr. Wallach about his book, Epigenetics. Great book if you're looking for a good read. Epigenetics is kind of a walkthrough of the thinking of medical thinking, I guess you'd say, health thinking from the days of cavemen and shamans and wizards and Sumeria all the way through to modern times. It's a wonderful read. I'll be talking to Doc Wallach about that on Friday. So if you're in the Hot Springs, Arkansas area, love to see you May 9th, this Friday, May 9th at 6:30 p.m. And if you're in the Indianapolis area, I'll be doing a talk for Rich Stocks, and that's, let's see, that's the 22nd of May, Thursday, the 22nd of May. Okay, so we're talking cells, cell theory, the idea that the body is built up of cells, the idea that all disease is cell disease. This is very important because if we don't understand how to address the juncture or the point where our disease is really focused on, we're going to become victims and prey to a medical model that is built to predate, built to be predators, built to take advantage of our ignorance. And aside from that, it's just mind-blowing. It's just awesomeness. The idea that a cell, of which we have 100 trillion that composes our body, the idea that this little tiny blob that's 50 times smaller than a period at the end of a sentence can contain a nervous system and a skeletal system and an information processing system and a reproductive system and a waste management system and a detoxifying system, all in this little blob 50 times smaller than the period at the end of a sentence, is a testimony to the amazingness of the divine force, just as much as the planets and the cosmos are a testimony to the amazingness of the divine force. And this is all what we are composed of. Now, we left off before we went to break talking about the little sliver of oil that coats these tiny little cells. It's 1,000 times smaller than the cell itself. This little tiny sliver of oil is an information processor. It's a brain. It is the brain of a cell. And this information processor, this sliver of oil that coats the cell, is made up mostly of fats and cholesterol. Yes, cholesterol. Tell that to the next boneheaded medical professional that says, you got to watch your cholesterol level. You got to stop eating your cholesterol. Perhaps he needs to go back to his cell biology or microbiology classes in medical school. In any case, this information processor is called a cell membrane. It's teeny, 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 tiny. And oh, by the way, inside the cell, you've got all these little substructures that live inside the cell, thousands, maybe tens of thousands of substructures, and guess what? Many of these substructures, they're also covered with their own membrane. How incredible is it that the cell, 100 times smaller than the head of a pin, thousands of times smaller, 1,000 times smaller, 50 times smaller than a period at the end of a sentence. How incredible is it that this tiny little structure that can't even be seen with the naked eye has little tiny substructures, each of which can't even be seen under a microscope, each of which have their own membrane, thousands of times smaller than the substructures themselves. And as fascinating as these structures are, structures with names like endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus and mitochondria and lysosomes. We're not going to get into any of these now, but how incredible is it that these little things, which are geographically located within a cell with precision and exactitude, each have their own covering, their own membrane. In all of life, in the entire miracle of life, the ultimate and fundamental miracle, in my opinion, is the cell. And in my opinion, we are far too glib about talking about the cell. We talk about it all the time, and then we just move on about our lives, our families, our mortgages, our loves, our joys, our fears, our illnesses, our day-to-day projects and problems. We forget or brush under the table the fundamental miracle that underlies all of these things, the fundamental miracle that underlies our world, the fundamental miracle that underlies our bodies, the cell. And given its fundamental nature, doesn't it behoove us to at least contemplate or place a little bit of attention on what the heck these things are that underlie our existence? Cells are made of molecules like everything else. But to say that cells are made of molecules really does molecules injustice. It makes molecules sound like just simply building blocks. And sometimes when people hear the term molecules, they just tune out, especially non-scientists or lay people. But molecules are really interesting. And molecules have this reputation of being boring and technical and scientific. If I called this program The Molecule Side instead of The Bright Side, or All About Molecules, or Molecules and You, I doubt I'd have a lot of listeners. If I promoted this program as a 1-hour program about molecules, there probably wouldn't be a lot of folks listening. And it's just too bad. Molecules just don't seem, at least to the non-scientific, they just seem to be boring, not too interesting, and that is too bad, because the fact of the matter is molecules, of which cells are made of, are themselves incredibly and endlessly fascinating. Molecules have personalities. Molecules communicate to each other, and what's more, molecules communicate to each other musically. They sing to each other. There's a really neat little book about molecules called Molecular Consciousness. It's a tiny little book, maybe 100 pages or so. And it's really, really well written, easy to understand. It describes the nature of the molecule in layman's terms. And in the book, the author makes the case that molecules are in constant communication with each other. They're constantly talking to each other, conveying information to each other by storing data, storing information, and then transmitting it. And how is this information stored and transmitted? Via super fast rhythms. On and off, Morse code-like fluctuations in energy. And these fluctuations have a rhythm, and these fluctuations have a musical quality. That's right. Molecules literally sing to each other. A molecule, each type of which is like this little jewel, a little gem. And this molecule is itself composed of parts that we call atoms. And these atoms are combined and structured in a unique pattern that represents and looks like, under the proper magnification, a gem, a jewel. And it has a musical quality that can be detected. You can hear molecules singing with scientific instruments. You can reproduce the singing of molecules via scientific instruments. Some of you may have heard of frequency modulating healing machines. The Rife machine, a guy named Royal Rife came up with the idea that you could use these kinds of frequencies and rhythms and energies and musical qualities to heal cells and change cells and restructure molecules. This is so amazing, folks. All right, we're coming back. I want to tell you a few more things about molecules, and then we'll come back and then we'll take your phone calls at 855-660-4261. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We will be back right after this.
If you're worried about your health and you're tired of the nasty side effects of harsh drugs or antibiotics, then look no further. Supernatural Silver is the answer. Supernatural Silver is a powerful immune system enhancer that can be used every day to help keep you healthy and well with none of those nasty side effects. It's extremely safe for use internally as well as topically. And Supernatural Silver is hundreds of times more effective than colloidal or ionic silver. It is perfect for use in the sinuses, eyes, ears, and on any wound or skin issue. Supernatural Silver is also extremely effective when taken orally and can help fight off bacteria, viruses, and mold that may be overwhelming your immune system. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, supernaturalsilver.com, and use the promo code SILVER2014 for 20% off of your entire order, and give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
Men who want intimacy and pleasure back in their love life don't ask if, they ask when. So men, spark up your love life, get pleasure and intimacy back, and please your special lady with Epic Nights. Epic Nights is a safe, revolutionary herbal sexual formula for men that combines ancient herbal ingredients and modern science to significantly support stamina, performance, and pleasure. Men, Epic Nights is a proven 100% natural product that works first time, every time, even after consuming alcohol. And you won't hear any of those cliche disclaimers men, because Epic Nights will not give you unwanted side effects, but Epic Nights will allow you to give your partner what they deserve. Epic Nights is guaranteed as one of the most effective male enhancers on the web, or will refund your purchase 100%. Buy Epic Nights at buyepicnights.com, spelled BUYEPICNIGHTS.com, or call 1-877-330-1120, 877-330-1120. Epic Nights, one pill, one Epic Night.
It's hard to imagine when things are going reasonably well, just how quickly things can change. But what would it take? Economic collapse, massive crop failure, chemical or biological attack? So many situations could find you in the grocery looking to pick up food for your family only to find that the shelves are empty. There's nothing. Don't let that happen. Act today to make sure that if it ever comes to that, you and your family will be provided for. Visit freezedryguy.com to look at the wide variety of survival foods available. Freeze-dried foods from the Freeze Dry Guy store longer, rehydrate faster, are nutritionally superior to, and taste better than any other long-term storage food available. Visit freezedryguy.com or call toll-free 866-404-3663. freezedryguy.com.
I will never forget the day my son Jeremy told me he hated me and slammed the door in my face. I'm behavioral therapist Janet Lehman. Behavior problems can turn the child you love and your life into a nightmare. That's why my husband James and I created the Total Transformation, the step-by-step program that shows you how to fix the worst behavior problems and get your child to respect and listen to you again. No matter what the behavior, defiance, backtalk, angry outbursts, disrespect, we can help you stop it. Now you can get the Total Transformation for free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. You can keep it forever for free.
Limited number of free programs available. Call now. 1-888-912-1595. 1-888-912-1595. That's 1-888-912-1595. 1-888-912-1595.
Great news, Pure Water lovers. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has a special discount offer for all GCN listeners. You can't do better than a Big Berkey for economy. For only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. There's none better than a Big Berkey for emergency preparedness as a backup water source. And you just can't beat a Big Berkey to remove dangerous chlorine, all types of fluoride, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, parasites, and unhealthy byproducts from municipal water. Berkey water filter systems are even powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. For the gold standard in water filters, get a Big Berkey at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And all GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. For details, call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
We are the premier independent talk radio network, the Genesis Communications Network, GC.
All right, we are back on the bright side. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben. A couple more things I want to tell you here about Molecule. Actually, you know what? I'll wait till the next program. Just sit with that idea. Molecules sing to each other. Molecules talk to each other. They're musical. And you can actually listen to molecules singing if you have the right kinds of scientific devices. When we come back on our next Brightside episode, we'll finish up a little bit more on cells. And then we'll talk about probably, at least possibly, the most important nutritional supplement that you could use for the health of a cell, more specifically for the health of the cell membrane, the brain of the cell. We'll do that on our next Brightside episode. Time to hit our phones. 855-660-4261 is our number. Let's go to Val in Texas. What's going on, Val? Welcome to the Brightside. Good morning.
Hi, Ben. Thanks for taking my call. I've listened to you for quite a while. I have recently been diagnosed with osteoarthritis early in life, and I just took put it off for about 30 years because I didn't want to, I kept thinking that something better would come along the longer I waited. Well, now I'm 50, and I've heard your show a lot about all the things to take about reducing inflammation, but my specific question is there something to rebuild cartilage? Because they are now saying that I'm inevitable for 2 full knee replacements, and so they of course they want to do the OrthoVisc, which is a synthetic hyaluronic acid injection, but
before they do,
read the
they want to do before. I'm sorry, Val.